Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the only person on YouTube. So before we get into this segment, have you seen this shirt? Have you seen anyone wearing this No Malarkey shirt? Okay? There's a reason for that. I'm the only person on YouTube who's worn it because there is no Biden campaign. Biden completely obliterated Bernie Sanders, decimated his campaign. Bernie Sanders is a media creation. That's it. In 2020, he's a media creation, propped up by pundits that Bernie couldn't even endorse when they were running for Congress. There's a million reasons why Bernie has lost, in addition to not only reasons attributed to his failed campaign in 2020. 2016, he actually could have won, could have defeated Clinton had he spoken about the top secret intelligence on servers running outside of the United States government and the fact that anyone else would have been indicted. So up until July 5th, 2016, I was saying, yeah, Bernie was the frontrunner, because he was. July 5th, Comey and Strzok and everyone else covered up the crimes of his political rival. He could have simply fought. He could have simply, he was talking about the power structure the other day. He's part of the power structure. He simply funnels votes back into the Democratic Party because there are sacred cows and the Achilles heels of Democrats he won't touch. He's not going to talk about Burisma. He's not going to talk about top secret intelligence on servers running outside of the United States government. He won't talk about Biden, like I said, Burisma, but Biden forcing out a prosecutor and the $3.4 million that Hunter got just miraculously on the board of directors had nothing to do with Biden's decision. Oh, nothing. But if it was Trump and a dossier, you got to connect the dots. Bernie sold his soul. He basically was one of the key voices in spreading the whole Trump-Russia myth. He never explained. He never stated that he was cheated. He didn't have the courage to state that he was cheated. But look, the whole thing's a charade. Hillary Clinton's going to be nominee, just like you did. I'll get to that in a second here. Donald Trump, President Trump. President Trump. For the people that are now out of work, this is 14 minutes ago, for the people that are now out of work because of the important and necessary containment policies, for instance, the shutting down of hotels, bars, and restaurants, money will soon be coming to you. The onslaught of the Chinese virus is not your fault. We'll be stronger than ever. Okay, so of course, Democrats and media are going to have a field day with this. Oh my God. But it's very good that Trump is giving some economic assistance. Hopefully it reaches the people who have been, who are now out of work, who might be laid off, who are maybe one step away from homelessness. Because there are well over 100,000 people in Los Angeles County who have been affected by bars and restaurants being shut down. Now, the stimulus package is going to include, so Trump is going to I think that he will prevent a recession. The economic impact of this will be substantial, but it won't be long term. So, which gets us to fake apocalypse and 3 million Democrats lining up, risking their lives. Oh my God, risking everything, their health, everything, because they just had to get Bernie Sanders out of the way and get Biden as the clear front runner, whatever that means. Biden's the front runner the way Bill de Blasio and Michael Bloomberg really, really wanted to win the presidency. Okay. With everything that, a lot of times people say I just don't see a path. I don't see a path for Hillary. Did you see a path for Michael Bloomberg? What about Kirsten Gillibrand? What about Elizabeth Warren? Do you see a path for any of these Democrats that have no path to win? The whole thing's a charade and a theatrical performance. Clinton is going to be nominee. They're not rolling with Biden, who's one fry short of a Happy Meal all the time, except, interestingly enough, when he's debating Bernie Sanders. Gee, I wonder why. That's bizarre. But President Trump's stimulus package, $1,000 to I would say probably most Americans, or a great many Americans, not people like Bill Gates, not people who haven't been directly affected, but hopefully it gets to people who have been directly affected by this. When you shut down businesses, when you shut down bars and restaurants, and it was like 4 different states, California being one of them, and I did a segment the other day on how detrimental that is to the economy. People were already not going to bars and restaurants. Why shut them down? Society was actually, combating this fake apocalypse in the right way, or at least within reason. This is absurd. There's no reason for the government to shut down any business when the Democratic Party had 3 million Americans. I did the count on H.A. Goodman's other channel, so subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. 3 million Americans voted. 90% of them, over 90%, voted for Biden. 3 million Democrats voted. And then there's one rebuttal that I've heard. Well, the turnout is a lot greater for Biden than for Clinton. Well, number one, people are petrified of Bernie Sanders and his policies. He has not sold his policies to the average Democrat, much less the average American. So you can't, even if, let's say I'm wrong about Medicare for All and it's feasible, I think it's noble, but it's not feasible. You look at the Mercatus study, you look at Democrats, you look at the fact that Democrats don't want Medicare for All because they don't think it's feasible. But let's say Bernie hasn't explained how $1 trillion, so there's we have a $4 trillion federal budget. Over $1 trillion of that is for health care. Big part of that is 45 to 50 million Americans who are on Social Security, or Medicare, I'm sorry. How do you go from 45 million Americans with out-of-pocket costs up to $6,700 for Medicare, by the way, depending on your plan, $1 trillion of the $4 trillion federal budget, roughly, encompassing that trillion for Medicare? How do you go from $1 trillion for 45 million to what are you going to do with the budget? We have 320 million Americans. What are you going to do with the federal budget? So when people say, well, we spend this as a country, everybody has different premiums or different healthcare needs. So it's like you're going to take well over 150 million Americans, off of their, or 120 million, I forgot but you're going to take well over 100 million Americans off insurance provided by their jobs, and then you add just in total all the people who have private insurance. So you're looking at the whole, even implementing it would take years and years. So when you have Rose Twitter saying, God, you're voting for Biden who doesn't care about health care. Good luck with people who don't have health care. It's like, even if Democrats wanted to implement it, and even if they ran Bernie would lose because he couldn't even defeat Biden in Florida. This is a different case than, this is a different scenario than 2016. Okay, 2016, he actually had a functioning campaign. It wasn't like Twitter-fueled and pundit-fueled, pundits that he can't even endorse. But you have this hysteria where 3 million Americans, 3 million Democrats who can't stand Trump and Trump's response to a fake apocalypse, who risked their lives, apparently, in locations where, I just remember here, there were 159 million with employer-based coverage, 84 million with other coverage. Okay, so you're looking at what, over 240 million people who have private insurance. But again, that's a big issue, another issue. That's just, Bernie Sanders never sold or explained or communicated how he's going to not only pay for it within the federal budget, current budget, But also, what happens to people who like their current healthcare? Is the quality going to be better with government-run healthcare? That's something that nobody thinks of. But anyway, forget about that. Democrats, it doesn't even matter what I think. Democrats don't want Bernie Sanders. They despise him. They have more contempt for Bernie Sanders and his voters than even President Trump. Who, by the way, there's one... Okay, Democrats keep saying, oh my God, his response. They don't care. Democrats don't... At the end of the day, the Democratic Party, or the people who voted today or yesterday, 3 million Democrats voted and got in lines and got with people, in close proximity, where they were with hundreds and hundreds of people, and they were touching and opening doors and just, hey, how you doing there, and trying to touch ballots. And what happened to the fear and the anxiety and the hysteria and the panic of everything going on? What happened? What happened to the fear and anxiety and the utter hysteria? I want to know. I thought that this was like the end of the world, and things are only going to get worse, and the projections are dire, and the sky is falling because of fake apocalypse. And you have to, the toilet paper, you have to stack those rows up of toilet paper. And my God, no, oh, it's okay. Democrats are like a parent that buys a Ferrari but doesn't have money for the kids' braces. They're the biggest hypocrites on the planet. All they do is talk about this like doomsday scenario, but when they want to get into groups, so they have no problem shutting down businesses. Oh, it's because of safety. But when it's to knock out Bernie Sanders and to just get this thing going with Biden before Hillary Clinton, they're going to... And the DNC is even penalizing states or, removing delegates. Who cares? The whole thing's rigged. Hillary Clinton is going to be nominee. That'll be yet another monumental example of how they're all hypocrites. You have people on Twitter whose only goal in life, probably even more than working, is to just pontificate, judge, condemn, get retweeted, try to give this like moral kind of speech or lecture or, some kind of lesson, fable, whatever, try to just, teach everyone about morality in this snarky kind of nauseating manner. That's why one of the reasons I don't have Twitter and I don't have Facebook. Social media will be taken down with this because could you imagine when Trump wins again? He'll win. He'll defeat Hillary Clinton again. Now, who knows how Clinton's going to come in? But Biden is... Okay, Bernie needs to get out of this election. People say, you said that Bernie could still win. Yeah, up until July 5th, genius. After July 5th, 2016, he ceased to be the front runner because Madam Secretary miraculously got out of indictments that anyone else would have received. But again, Bernie doesn't fight. See, Bernie talks a big game. He's a good human being. I don't say... Whatever he's doing to completely get steamrolled by Biden, who doesn't know where he is half the time, that's his issue. Bernie Sanders is a good human being inside. What he's done, fomenting... Well, you know what? I don't know how good of a human being he is, but what he's done to try to foment the belief that Trump worked with Russia for 4 years, he's over 3 years, he's fomented that belief, spread that nonsense that we found was a completely debunked, absurd fantasy of Democrats. Just like, oh my God, the sky is falling, and then they all 3 million Americans, when you 3 million Democrats, when you combine, and I did this on H.A. Goodman's other channel, you just use a calculator. You don't need an app in Iowa that was just miraculously created by Clinton officials. You don't need an app in Iowa. You just add all the people who voted in Illinois, in Arizona, and in Florida. Florida especially, like 1 million people voted for Biden. Okay, when it comes to things they want, they'll get into social circles and they'll be like, "Hey, yeah, well, how you doing? Can I get that ballot?" But when it's anything else, oh my God, the sky is falling, it's Trump's fault, and close down businesses, and because they secretly, like, have you ever spoken to a liberal Democrat about what's going on? I have. A lot of my friends. Oh my God, the glee, the happiness inside you, it's unbelievable. If this were the Cuban Missile Crisis, they would be like hoping and praying for annihilation. The Democrats live within this miserable kind of fantasy world where anything bad is actually good because it hurts Trump. So it's really bad, but they get this like nourishment. They get this like, it's really sick. It's really, really like depraved. Like, yeah, the projections are really horrible. And then why did 3 million Democrats risk everything, their lives, their health, to what? To vote for Biden? They don't even like Biden. None of those people have a No Malarkey shirt. I'm wearing this as satire. It's like when I wear the I'm with her. Okay, the whole thing's the Democratic Party is the worst. If you're a Bernie supporter and you happen to be watching this, or somebody on Rose Twitter or whatever, you're on the extreme left and you just happen to be watching this just to see like, oh, what a weird person I am. Who is this guy, H.A. Badman, this weird person? Understand something. Trump is not your political adversary. Your political adversary is the Democratic Party. If Bernie really wanted to fight a system that he claims to fight, he would have started a new political party or joined Jill Stein or whatever, joined the Green Party, whatever. He's part of a system to funnel votes back into Hillary 2020, or if you don't believe me, Biden 2020. Either way, Bernie Sanders is a pawn and tool of the Democratic Party. This is not rocket science. He's not going to look. Bernie also doesn't he doesn't tell the truth all the time. He said he was going to go into 2016 and he was going to make it a contested convention. And there's numerous articles backing that claim up. Numerous articles from that time period. Because Clinton was just the presumptive nominee. He didn't. It wasn't contested because he doesn't fight. Bernie doesn't fight. The image, the marketing is that he fights. He doesn't fight at all. Okay, he just lays down when he has to. So, this is all for Hillary Clinton. That's why everyone aside from Bernie met with Clinton, which is a fact. And when people say, one knock on me, oh, you always bring up Madam Secretary. Well, no. It's actually not me that brings up the Clintons. It's actually, the problem is with people who don't understand that not only are they supremely relevant, there's only two people that run the Democratic Party, Bill and Hillary. Nobody else. Nobody else has the money. Nobody else has the connections, the fundraising, the media. There are no Biden voters. They're all I'm with her people. I know the Democratic Party. I've been a lifelong Democrat up until a year ago. Okay. And I had no party affiliation now. Not a Republican. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm voting for Trump because he's a great president. So, give me your thoughts below. I mean, this is a big issue in terms of the Democrats are the biggest hypocrites on the planet because when they want to gather in groups, they will. They're shutting down businesses as 3 million Democrats met and, touched doorknobs in their faces and oh my God. Okay, 3 million in 3 locations, Arizona, Illinois, and Florida. Dude, just add them up. Add up the votes. And by the way, I did another segment, H.A. Goodman's other channel. You have to subscribe to that channel. It's awesome. Michael Bloomberg got 37% of Bernie's vote total. So he basically, there was like 140,000 people who voted for Bloomberg in Florida. That's how, not only did Biden win by like 600,000 plus votes, Biden got 1 million votes in Florida. Bernie got like 380, 90 something. But you had a billionaire who got 100,000 votes. The guy's not even running. Okay, they say, well, Clinton's not running. How could she? No. She's definitely running. She's in the news every day. Hillary on Hulu, please. Why do you think Hillary on Hulu even happened? Why? Gutsy women, Hillary on Hulu, speaking tour. She was running without running, technically. Or she was running without running in a traditional sense. She looked at Trump. Trump, in 2016, had a unique campaign. Even though he campaigned and he had rallies and speeches and, he did have a traditional campaign, but in a sense, he had spent years becoming part of Americana. And so Clinton was like, oh my God, I need to start a Hillary on Hulu, because that's really the way to get to people. Okay, so you got the documentary, then you got the speaking tour, then you got the book, and then when Biden takes off his clothes and then runs down the street naked, and then sings a Backstreet Boys song, ain't nothing but a hot egg, hey everybody, I'm taking your AM PM 13s, then people are going to say, okay, who do we have left? Oh, look, there's and then you get an article in the Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN start talking about, we need Hillary, we need Clinton. It takes about 2 days, not even, to alter the mindset of Democrats. It's like programming a computer. It doesn't take much. It's people like, I don't see a path. Like, really? What do you see? Biden? You see Biden in the centennial of the 19th Amendment? I don't think so. I will have made the biggest political prediction of all time, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest political prediction of all time. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel if you want to support my voice long term. My Patreon is below. Thank you.